Hey, it's Brett Freedman from Vanity Mart Cosmetics, and today's quick tip is about cleaning your makeup brushes. So I really know what I'm talking about on this because every day I work with a different actress or model or singer, and I have to clean my brushes every night. And if I'm not doing it, my assistant's doing it. So not only have I washed my brushes probably every way on the planet over the years, but I've trained someone to wash them. So what I'm going to show you is what I'm doing as of the last year or so that I've found cleans them the fastest and the most thorough and retains their shape and keeps the longevity of the brush. So what you're going to need is some dirty brushes, a towel to let them dry out on, and some Dr. Bonner's Miracle Soap. So you can get this at any health food store, or I think they actually have it at Target too. But it's been around since the 1800s and the packaging is the same, and it's an oil soap. So I'm going to show you in the sink how I do it. Let's go. Okay, so step one is you're going to clean your sink. So, just make sure you get a little bit of soap in there. If you're in the bathroom, I do mine in the kitchen because my sink is white, so I can really see that I'm getting everything out of the brushes. So you can use your dishwashing detergent, or if you're in the bathroom, you can use your hand soap. But just make sure you have a really nice clean surface to work on. Okay, so step two, you're going to take your Dr. Bonner soap and you're just going to swirl it into the sink. Kind of like this, a little bit of everywhere. Now, you probably can't see it on camera, but it looks like it's just little zigzags of soap. Not a ton, but enough to, what we're going to do is clean the brush in each section so that they all get equal amounts of soap. Okay, so next you're going to take your brush. Now I always start with the biggest brushes and I work myself down to the smaller brushes. And I go in a section and I just swirl it into the soap and pump it up and down, and I try to, just keep it in one section. Now the Dr. Bonner's is an oil soap, so it's actually a little bit harsh, but it zaps away all the makeup really fast. And a lot of people say, oh, I mix in a little makeup remover, but there's a little oil in makeup remover, and I don't think that it's a good idea when you're washing the brushes to use what you're using on your face. So let that sit out and soak, and then you get the next and go into the next little section and pump it and swirl it till it's full of soap, and then I actually let it sit. I kind of hang it off the side and let the soap dissolve the makeup and the product. And then you just go to another section, and you'll notice like your foundation brush and your blush brushes are really, really pigment packed. So they may take a few little swirls and little pumps, and if there's a little residue of water in the sink, I always kind of go and grab for that to get a little more slip. And once again, I'm setting it out to let it work. Okay, so as you see, I kind of made a mess here with all the different places and areas for each brush. And like I said, I left them sit out, while I'm cleaning the other brushes, so they really soak in the soap a little bit, lets it break it down, and then when I rinse, I just swirl all this stuff around and I pump it until all of the pigment is out and all of the soap. So you just kind of, dab it up and down. And then this helps clean up all this too. You sort of, clean up the sink while you're rinsing out your brushes. And then I always like to mold them back into shape. So, for example, this little one. Rinse it out, pump it, swirl it, pump and swirl, and then you want to get the excess out. And what that does, it lets it dry into a shape. Because if you let it dry all scraggly like that, it's going to stay like that, and you're going to lose the precision. So, do that with all your brushes. Okay, so all my brushes are clean. I've tapered them all, and now they're drying on the towel, hanging over the edge. So a lot of people say, why don't you just soak them in soap in a cup? And let me tell you something. All of these hairs are glued in here. So I don't like to submerge them in water, especially with soap, because now I just want to get the pigment off the brush. I don't necessarily I want to get as little soap and things in the inside part and on the handle of the brush as I can. That's huge. That will help the brush stay a lot longer. Again, we're tapering. I also let them dry over the sink or over an edge, just so there's a little bit of airflow. If you dry them all like this, they'll dry on one side, and you know, depending on how long you're going to leave them out, it doesn't really matter. But like I said, Vanity Mark gals, I've done this 1,000 times, and sometimes speed is important. So I find if they're hanging over an edge, they dry a little bit faster. So you just want to go through it one more time, make sure they're all crisp, and there's your clean brushes. Okay, so once they're dry, you just finger through the brush, refluff it, and it's brand new again, fresh and clean and ready to go. So people ask me, how often do you wash your brushes? Like I said, I do it every day, pretty much every night. But you would probably want to do it once a week. Maybe your ritual is you do it Thursday or Friday, so they're fresh and clean for the weekend. In between, if you want to use a little bit of brush cleaner, that's a nice way. It's kind of like dry cleaning. It doesn't really get out a lot of the stuff, but it takes it off the surface. So if you're switching colors, if you're using your neutrals all the time, and you want to switch to blues or cool tones, you'll definitely want to wash them, because you really won't get all the pigment out with a spray-on brush cleaner. But if you've been sick, you definitely want to wash them at the end of your illness, when you're up and over the hump of, you know, being ill. Wash your brushes, just so you're healthy and clean and ready to go. So I hope you learned something. Go clean those brushes and enjoy pretty.